I've been riding this 2014 KTM 350 for about 12 years now. It's been a great bike for me. It handles just about anything I want to do. It's pretty good on single track. It's great on ATV trails and Jeep roads, and not bad on fire roads and small back paved roads. It's not great on the highway, so I try to avoid those, but I don't like riding pavement that much anyway, so it's been a great bike. But I'm now in my 70s and I'm finding it be a bit of a handful. We mostly ride single track now. It's a little bit tall. I'm 6'2", so it's a comfortable bike, but when I get into technical stuff, it's hard to put my feet down. My balance isn't as good as it used to be. My reflexes have slowed down, so I'm starting to fall over a little more often, and safety's an important factor for me. So if I get hurt, my riding days are probably over. So I have another video where I talked about all the mods I did to this bike to make it comfortable for me, and I have a Recluse, which has been a game changer for me because I never got very good at clutch modulation. I also have a Clake SLR left-hand rear brake that is awesome. I've got a wireless charger for a rugged phone I use for my GPS, Scott stabilizer. I've had the suspension re-sprung and revalved for my riding style. It's very plush, very comfortable. Seat concept seat that I've pretty much worn out. Anyway, it's been a great bike, but now that I'm getting older, I thought about getting something smaller and lighter. I could lower this one, but I can't really address the weight. So I decided to get a Beta 200 RRX Pro. The seat's at least an inch lower, so I can put my feet flat on the ground, and it's 20 pounds lighter. A lot of people use the 300s for single track. If I was younger, I would have done that, but at my age, I didn't really need that much power. I've got some friends with 300s, and they're awesome bikes, but they're also rocket ships if you hit the gas. So I picked this up a couple months ago. It's been a project bike for me. This bike is really made for smaller riders and lighter riders. The stock springs are for a 145-pound rider, and I'm with gear about 100 pounds over that. So I've had to deal with that, and because it's small, I've had to make some adjustments for fitment. It's been a fun project. Let's talk about fitment first. I got some aftermarket foot pegs that are about a ½ an inch lower and a ½ an inch farther back. I put on a Scott's underbar mount for my stabilizer, so that raised the bars about an inch. These are fairly flat bars compared to the KTM, so it's still lower than my KTM, but not too bad, and for single track it's been really good. I put on the left-hand rear brake. Unfortunately for the Betas, I had to give up the foot brake in order to install the hand brake. So I don't have a foot brake, whereas the KTM has both, which I would prefer. I like a left-hand rear brake for this kind of stuff. So it still feels a little small, but when I get in the technical stuff, that's what I wanted. I want to be able to put my feet down and hold the bike up. And next, let's talk about power. The 200 doesn't have the torque that a 300 does, but for the kind of trails I ride, I found that by gearing it down one tooth in the front, it's got plenty of power for my weight, except on steep hill climbs. I found it's critical to be in the right gear. If it's really steep, I've got to be in first. Most hills I can do in second, as long as I keep my momentum up. And with good clutch modulation, it can get me up the hills. Unfortunately, I don't have that skill. So I put a recluse on this bike, and that solved my problems of climbing hills. The recluse wasn't available when I first bought the bike. I had to wait a few months. So I dealt without it for a while and really struggled on the hills. With the recluse, it's been great. I can climb anything I dare ride. I removed the stock ignition map switch because it was mounted right in the center, and that's where I wanted my GPS with my wireless charger, and I found I wasn't using it anyway. I also removed the blinker switch to make this bike street legal. All you have to do is add blinkers, but I wasn't interested in that since I have the 350 as my dual sport bike. I also put on some good wraparound hand guards that help protect my knuckles from getting whacked by branches. Now let's talk about suspension. With the stock springs, I was way overweight and sat really low on the stroke, and the bike was extremely harsh. So I got the stiffer springs. It took several weeks to get those. The X Pro is a fairly new series, so parts aren't readily available. But with the new springs, it was still really harsh until I finally took the time to set the sag accurately with all of my riding gear on. Now that I've got the sag on, and I also found a document that talks about recommended clicker settings, so it's now, I would say it's good. It's not as good as my revalved KTM, but it's pretty good. I'm still fine-tuning it, and eventually I may get it revalved, but it was critical to get the sag set correctly. Another change I made, I had a lot of problems with the carburetor. I just couldn't get it to run good. I even took it back to the dealer and had them try jetting it, and I just wasn't happy with it. It was really misfiring. So I put a Smart Carb SC3 on it. That thing is awesome. You don't have to mess with jetting anymore. It starts right up. Good throttle response. It's improved my fuel economy. I'm now getting about 35 miles a gallon on slow technical single track. So that gives me probably about 90-mile range on tank of gas, which is farther than I can handle. I'll get too tired before then. The other issue I've had with it is I get a lot of spooge out of the exhaust. I think that's probably because I ride so slow. And occasionally it drips onto the brake rotor and contaminates my brake pads. So I'm still trying to find a solution for that. So if you have suggestions, please leave a comment, because that's pretty frustrating to lose your rear brake. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's a fun bike to ride. It wouldn't be as comfortable as my KTM on a long ride. Like, we usually do a few multi-day moto camping trips each year, and the KTM's a much better bike for that. But for single track, this has been really fun.